Silence is preparation, not punishment. You need to hear that early, because if you do not understand that truth, you will misread one of the most important seasons of your life. You will think the quiet means you have been forgotten. You will think the waiting means you have been denied. You will think the closed door means you are not worthy. And because you misread the season, you will rebel against the very process designed to strengthen you. But the quiet is not your enemy. The pause is not your enemy. The hidden season is not your enemy. It is the workshop. It is the proving ground. It is the room where weak habits are exposed, shallow motives are stripped away, and real substance is built into you layer by layer, choice by choice, day by day. You keep asking why nothing is moving, why nobody is clapping, why the world is not noticing. But your life cannot be built on applause. Your future cannot depend on attention. Your character cannot mature in constant noise. Some of the greatest work that will ever happen in you will happen where nobody sees it, where nobody praises it, where nobody even understands it. Think about that. The world celebrates the performance, but life is shaped in rehearsal. The world sees the fruit, but strength is formed in the root. And roots do not grow in a spotlight. They grow in the dark. Now understand something important. You have been trained by a loud world to believe that visibility is value. If people see you, you matter. If people mention you, you matter. If your name is moving, if your phone is buzzing, if your plans look impressive from the outside, then you think you are making progress. But that is a dangerous way to measure a life. Noise can lie to you. Attention can lie to you. Motion can lie to you. You can be busy and still be empty. You can be surrounded and still be weak. You can be admired and still be unprepared. Silence removes the costume. Silence removes the audience. Silence removes the convenient distractions. And when all of that is gone, you are left with the one person you have been trying very hard to avoid, you. Your discipline, your excuses, your standards, your honesty, your private habits, your private thoughts, your private compromises. That is why silence feels heavy to so many people. It is not because silence is cruel. It is because silence is revealing. It shows you what the noise was covering. It shows you what the crowd was protecting you from facing. Let that sink in. When the room gets quiet, you finally hear the truth rattling around inside you. And if you are wise, you do not run from that moment. You use it. You let it teach you. You let it correct you. You let it prepare you. Now let's talk about why you resist that preparation. You resist it because part of you still wants a life that costs less than it is worth. You want confidence without repetition. You want strength without strain. You want results without routine. You want clarity without stillness. You want the crown without the carving. But life does not work that way. You do not become durable by being entertained. You do not become sharp by being comfortable. You do not become trustworthy by living in convenience. There are things that can only be forged in quiet consistency. A blade is not sharpened by applause. A mind is not sharpened by talk. A soul is not sharpened by shortcuts. Think about a seed buried in the ground. From the outside, it looks like loss. It looks hidden. It looks trapped. It looks covered. But underground, where nobody is congratulating it, where nobody is admiring it, where nobody is rushing it, the work is happening. The shell is breaking. The root is pushing. The life is forming. If the seed could speak too early, it might call that darkness unfair. It might call that pressure punishment. It might call that burial rejection. But the burial was the beginning. The darkness was development. The pressure was part of the process. And many times in your own life, what feels like burial is actually planting. Now consider what silence does to your excuses. When life is loud, you can hide behind confusion. You can say you have been overwhelmed. You can say you have had too much going on. You can say you have not had time to think. But when things get quiet, that shield comes off. Then the truth shows up. Then you find out whether you are serious or just emotional. Then you find out whether you are committed or just inspired. Then you find out whether you want the life or just the fantasy. Silence does not just reveal your weakness. It gives you a chance to confront it without pretending. And that is a gift, even if it stings. No one is coming to wake you up every morning with purpose. No one is coming to force you to read, to train, to save, to prepare. No one is coming to build your self-respect for you. You must do that work. You must make those choices. You must become the kind of person who can act without being watched, who can focus without being praised, who can continue without being carried. Let that sink in. The silent season is where you stop performing maturity and start practicing it. It is where you stop making declarations and start making deposits. One choice today, another choice tomorrow, another choice when nobody notices. That is how power is built. Quietly, repeatedly, honestly. Now understand something important. Preparation often looks unimpressive while it is happening. That is why impatient people abandon it. They mistake slow progress for no progress. They mistake hidden growth for dead ends. They mistake repetition for stagnation. But repetition is not failure when repetition is refining something valuable. Watch a blacksmith at the furnace. The metal goes into the fire, then onto the anvil, then back into the fire, then back under the hammer again. Heat, pressure, impact. Heat, pressure, impact. If you judge that process too early, you would say the metal is being punished. You would say it is being beaten for no reason. But the smith sees what the metal cannot yet see. He is not destroying it. He is shaping it. He is not venting anger. He is applying intention. He knows the edge cannot come first. The strength must come first. The form must come first. The tempering must come first. And in the same way, life will take you through cycles that feel repetitive, demanding, even unfair. Not because you are being discarded, but because you are being formed for weight you cannot carry yet. Think about that. If more were handed to you before you were stronger, the blessing would break you. If the stage opened before your habits matured, exposure would embarrass you. Silence slows the process so substance can catch up with desire. Now let's talk about the ache that comes when the world gets quiet around you. That ache is real. You do not need to pretend. It is easy. There are days when the silence feels like absence. There are nights when the silence feels like abandonment. There are hours when you start asking yourself whether anybody sees the effort, whether anything is changing, whether the road is leading somewhere worth reaching. That is part of the test. Not because you are meant to live broken, but because you are meant to learn how not to let emotion lead your judgment. You cannot let every lonely moment define the meaning of your life. Cannot let every quiet week become a final conclusion. You cannot let temporary invisibility become a permanent identity. Think about a boxer running roadwork before sunrise. No crowd, no camera, no music, just cold air, tired legs, and the sound of breath. That run does not look glorious. It looks ordinary. It looks lonely. It looks harsh. But when the later rounds come, and one fighter fades while the other still has fuel, that hidden morning shows up. The unseen miles speak. The lonely discipline answers. And that is how your life works too. The strength you build in silent seasons returns to you in public moments. The restraint you practice in private protects you when pressure arrives. The focus you develop alone becomes your advantage when distractions are everywhere. Now consider this. Silence is not only where you are prepared, it is where you are purified. In noise, your motives can stay mixed. In noise, you can chase things because other people are chasing them. In noise, you can borrow goals, borrow standards, borrow identities. But silence asks harder questions. What do you actually want? What are you willing to work for when no one is impressed? What do you value when there is no applause attached? What will you keep doing when the outcome is uncertain and the reward is delayed? Those questions matter because a confused motive will sabotage a disciplined life. If you are doing the right thing for the wrong reason, you will quit as soon as the wrong reason disappears. If your fuel is comparison, you will collapse when somebody else gets ahead. If your fuel is attention, you will collapse when attention moves on. Silence strips all of that down. It empties the room so you can hear your own reasons clearly. Let that sink in. You need a reason deeper than vanity. You need a standard stronger than mood. You need a conviction heavier than convenience. Otherwise, the first hard season will scatter you. Silence is where those deeper foundations are tested. And anything shallow in you starts to crack. That cracking is not cruelty. That cracking is mercy. Now understand something important. The quiet season is where you begin to hear the small leaks that have been draining your life. In a loud house, you do not hear the faucet drip. In a loud life, you do not hear the habits that are costing you strength. But when things quiet down, you notice them. You notice the lazy promises you keep making to yourself. You notice the wasted evenings. You notice the conversations that weaken your focus. You notice the resentment you have been rehearsing. You notice the envy you have been feeding. You notice how often you reach for distraction the moment responsibility feels heavy. That awareness can be uncomfortable. Good. It should be. Comfort does not correct you. Honesty corrects you. Now consider a boat with a tiny crack beneath the waterline. From a distance, it still looks fine. It still floats. It still moves. But that little opening keeps taking in water slowly, quietly, steadily. If the captain never brings the boat into still water for inspection, the leak remains hidden until the damage becomes serious. Your silent season is that inspection. It is where you stop admiring the paint and start checking the structure. It is where you stop asking how things look and start asking what things can withstand. You need that question because some people lose years not from one great disaster, but from one tolerated leak. Now let's talk about patience, because silence and patience are close relatives, and neither one is loved by people who want immediate proof. You want to know right now that the work will pay off. You want a sign every week. You want confirmation every day. You want evidence before the roots have even had time to settle. But some things cannot be rushed without being ruined. A tree that grows too fast without deep roots becomes easy to topple. A house built too quickly without a strong foundation becomes dangerous to live in. A person prays too early without inner discipline becomes unstable under pressure. Think about concrete being poured for a bridge. Once it is set in place, nobody stands there screaming at it to hurry. Nobody insults it because it is not ready by sunset. Nobody calls it weak because it needs time to cure. They understand that what carries weight must be allowed to strengthen properly. Think about that. Yet, you speak to your own life with less wisdom than an engineer speaks to wet concrete. Keep demanding instant maturity, instant healing, instant mastery. That impatience is expensive. It leads you to force what should be formed, to announce what should be developed, to chase what should be earned. Silence teaches you to wait without falling apart. It teaches you to continue without constant proof. It teaches you to trust the work before the reward becomes visible. Now consider what happens when you do not learn that lesson. You start digging up your own progress just to check if it is growing. You start quitting routines before they become results. You start changing direction every time boredom whispers in your ear. You start mistaking consistency for monotony. But monotony is often the price of mastery. The musician plays scales no audience wants to hear. The writer drafts pages no reader will ever see. The athlete rehearses movements until they become muscle memory. The craftsman sands the same surface again and again until roughness disappears. None of that is glamorous. All of it matters. Think about bread rising in a quiet kitchen. Once the dough is kneaded, you do not keep punching it every 2 minutes because you are anxious. You do not cut it open to see if it is becoming what it should become. You cover it. You wait. You trust the process that does its work without spectacle. Your growth has seasons like that. You need to stop tearing open every phase of your life because you are nervous about timing. Let that sink in. Progress is often quiet because strength likes depth more than speed. If you are always interrupting the process, you will stay busy and remain unfinished. Now understand something important. Silence is where identity gets settled. Not the identity you post. Not the identity you announce. Not the identity people assume when they only see the surface. Your real identity. The kind that remains when recognition disappears. The kind that still guides you when no one is checking. The kind that can carry you through a long season without applause, without novelty, without rescue. You need that kind of identity because life will test whether you are living from principle or from impulse. Are you a person of order or only a person of intention? Are you a person of endurance or only a person of enthusiasm? Are you a person of standards or only a person of speeches? Silence makes that distinction clear. It asks whether your private life agrees with your public desires. It asks whether your habits support the future you keep naming. It asks whether you are building a reputation or a character. Think about an archer pulling back a bow. The arrow moves backward before it moves forward. There is tension first. There is restraint first. There is a quiet gathering of force before release. If you only judge the moment of pulling back, you might say nothing good is happening. But the backward movement is loading the power. And many times, your own silent season feels like that. You feel held back, you feel stretched, you feel delayed. But the tension is building capacity. The restraint is storing force. The stillness is not empty, it is loaded. Now let's talk about loneliness, because some of you confuse being alone with being abandoned, and that confusion makes you resent the very space that could mature you. Solitude is not the same as rejection. Solitude is not proof that you are unwanted. Solitude is often the environment where your mind can become orderly again, where your priorities can be cleaned up, where your voice can stop echoing the opinions of every person around you. You have spent too much time borrowing certainty from the room. Now you need to grow your own. You have spent too much time measuring yourself by reaction. Now you need to measure yourself by standard. No one is coming to sit inside your mind and organize it for you. No one is coming to untangle your excuses for you. No one is coming to choose your discipline for you. That is your work. And solitude gives you the room to do it. Think about a ship taken into dry dock. It is pulled away from the water, away from the trade routes, away from the visible movement that makes it look useful. To the untrained eye, it seems like it has been sidelined. But in dry dock, the hull is inspected. The damage is repaired. The weak places are reinforced. The vessel is made ready for deeper water. Let that sink in. Sometimes the reason you have been pulled back from visible motion is not because your journey is over, but because your structure needs attention before the next voyage begins. Now consider the discipline of small things, because silent seasons are built out of small things, not dramatic vows, not emotional declarations. Small things. Getting up when you said you would get up, finishing the page, making the call, taking the walk, keeping the promise, turning off the distraction, sitting with the discomfort, saving the money, telling yourself the truth. Quiet discipline is usually unimpressive in the moment. That is why weak minds keep dismissing it. But your life is not wrecked by one giant failure as often as it is weakened by thousands of small neglects. In the same way, your life is not rebuilt by one giant speech as often as it is restored by thousands of small obediences. Think about a mason laying bricks. One brick looks insignificant. 2 bricks look insignificant. 10 bricks still do not look like much. But line by line, level by level, day after day, a wall rises. Then a room, then a house, then a shelter that can withstand weather. Your habits are bricks. Your standards are bricks. Your daily choices are bricks. And every silent day gives you a chance to lay another one properly. Think about that. If you keep waiting for a dramatic breakthrough while neglecting the brick in your hand, you will keep living in a life with no shelter and wondering why the storms keep soaking you. Now understand something important. The world has taught you to worship peaks and despise plateaus, but most real growth happens on the plateau. On the plateau, there is no novelty to carry you. On the plateau, there is no crisis forcing you. On the plateau, there is no dramatic pain making the choice obvious. There is just decision. Repeated decision, quiet decision, mature decision. And that is where self-respect is built, because self-respect does not come from talking about what you are capable of. It comes from evidence. It comes from watching yourself do what you said you would do. It comes from learning that your word to yourself means something. That is why silent seasons matter so much. They give you repeated chances to earn your own trust, not with speeches, with behavior. Think about a watchmaker handling tiny gears at a workbench. No crowd surrounds him. No fireworks go off when one spring is placed correctly. But precision in those small hidden components determines whether the whole watch keeps accurate time. Your life works the same way. The little hidden disciplines set the pace for the larger visible outcomes. If your private timing is broken, your public performance will eventually expose it. Let that sink in. Silence gives you time to repair the mechanisms before the pressure of public life reveals every flaw at once. Now let's talk about pain, because sometimes silence hurts, precisely because it is healing you in places noise could not reach. When a wound has been ignored, cleaning it is not comfortable. When a bone has healed crooked, correction is not comfortable. When a mind has become addicted to stimulation, stillness is not comfortable. But discomfort is not always danger. Discomfort is often the doorway to restoration. You have to learn that lesson, or else you will keep fleeing every process that could free you. Think about someone who has lived near loud machinery for years. When the machine finally shuts off, the first thing they notice is not peace. It is ringing. It is strange. It is unsettling. The nervous system has to adjust. In the same way, when you step out of constant distraction, your mind does not instantly become serene. First, it begins throwing old impulses at you. Restlessness, doubt, craving, regret, fear. That does not mean silence is harming you. It means the noise had more control than you realized. Let that sink in. If you cannot sit alone without reaching for something to numb you, that is not a personality trait. That is a warning. And the quiet season is where you finally begin reclaiming authority over your own attention, your own emotions, your own direction. Now consider the difference between punishment and preparation. Punishment takes from you because something has ended. Preparation trains you because something is coming. Punishment is about finality. Preparation is about readiness. Punishment leaves you smaller. Preparation makes you stronger. That distinction matters because how you name your season affects how you live inside it. If you call it punishment, you become bitter. If you call it preparation, you become attentive. If you call it punishment, you spend all your energy complaining. If you call it preparation, you start looking for the lesson, the adjustment, the next responsible step. Silence is preparation, not punishment. That line should sit in your mind like a weight. Silence is preparation, not punishment. Say it when the days feel slow. Say it when nobody calls. Say it when your work seems invisible. Say it when progress feels buried under repetition. Because if you remember that truth, you will stop insulting the season that is trying to equip you. Think about a student pilot spending hours in a simulator. No passengers, no skyline, no applause, just repetitions, corrections, emergency drills, instrument checks. It is quiet work. It can feel far removed from the glamour of actual flight. But when weather turns difficult in the real sky, preparation speaks. The pilot does not rise to the level of excitement. He falls to the level of training, and so do you. Now let's talk about timing, because immature people keep trying to bloom in winter and then calling life unfair when frost hits them. Every season has a purpose. There is a time to sow, a time to root, a time to prune, a time to endure, a time to bear fruit. If you demand fruit in the rooting season, you will call the ground cruel. If you demand applause in the training season, you will call silence rejection. If you demand arrival while you are still learning how not to sabotage yourself, you will mistake mercy for delay. Think about an orchard in winter. The branches look bare. The landscape looks lifeless. Someone without wisdom could walk through and say, the whole field has failed. But the experienced grower does not panic at winter. He knows the tree is not dead just because it is not performing for the eye. He knows unseen systems are being preserved. He knows that forcing visible growth in the wrong season weakens the entire tree. Think about that. You have to stop evaluating your life with the impatience of a spectator and start reading it with the wisdom of a builder. Builders understand timing. Farmers understand timing. Craftsmen understand timing. You must understand timing too. Otherwise, you will keep cursing the quiet that was meant to make you durable enough for your own future. Now understand something important. Some doors stay closed, not because you are being denied, but because you are being protected from premature exposure. You keep looking at the locked door as if it is an insult. Maybe it is insulation. Maybe it is protection against pressure you are not yet organized enough to handle. Maybe the opportunity is real, but your habits would waste it. Maybe the platform is desirable, but your ego would be inflated by it. Maybe the relationship looks right, but your inner disorder would damage it. Silence gives you time to become safe for what you are asking for. Think about fruit picked too early. It may look almost ready. It may have color. It may have shape. But if it is cut from the branch before maturity, it never develops its full sweetness. It was not denied by the tree. It was interrupted by impatience. Your own life can be interrupted the same way. You can force visibility too early, force commitment too early, force expansion too early, and then spend years managing the damage of things that should have been given more time. Let that sink in. Delay is not always a wall. Sometimes delay is a guardrail. Silence is not always empty. Sometimes silence is protection from your own rush. Now consider what happens in quiet seasons when you choose resentment instead of responsibility. You start narrating your life like a victim. You say nothing ever works for you. You say nobody helps you. You say other people get all the breaks. That mindset is poison. It makes you passive. It makes you dull. It makes you blind to the tools already in your hand. Resentment is expensive because it burns energy that should be used for construction. You cannot build a meaningful life with a mind full of complaints. You cannot prepare effectively while constantly prosecuting your circumstances. Now understand something important. Responsibility is heavy, but it is also empowering. The moment you accept that your response matters more than your mood, you gain traction. The moment you accept that your habits matter more than your complaints, you gain direction. The moment you accept that your discipline matters more than your disappointment, you gain strength. Think about a construction site before sunrise. Steel beams, dust, concrete, scaffolding. Nothing about it looks elegant in the early stages. If you walked through halfway and judged it too soon, you might say it is ugly, chaotic, unfinished. Of course it is unfinished. It is under construction. Your life in a silent season often looks like that. Exposed beams, temporary support, mess before form. But construction is not collapse. It only looks rough because something real is being built. Now let's talk about your inner conversation, because in silence, your words to yourself become louder. And those words either strengthen you or sabotage you. If every quiet day is met with self-pity, you weaken your own posture. If every delay is narrated as failure, you train your own mind to distrust the process. If every lonely stretch becomes proof that you are doomed, you make endurance almost impossible. You have to speak to yourself with honesty, not hysteria. Honesty says, this is hard, but it is useful. Honesty says, this hurts, but it is not pointless. Honesty says, I do not enjoy the process, but I will not insult it. No one is coming to clean up the language in your own head. No one is coming to stand guard at the gate of your thoughts every hour. No one is coming to rescue you from the story you keep repeating to yourself. That is your assignment. Let that sink in. If you talk to yourself like someone abandoned, you will act abandoned. If you talk to yourself like someone being trained, you will start to rise with dignity. The season does not only test your habits, it tests your interpretation. And many people are not defeated by the season itself. They are defeated by the lie they tell themselves about what the season means. Now consider the power of hidden rehearsal. Every public moment is paid for somewhere in private. Every steady performance is backed by unglamorous preparation. Every clear answer under pressure usually comes from many quiet hours before the pressure arrived. Think about a chess player studying endgames alone at a table. No crowd roars when he reviews positions. No one applauds when he learns one more pattern. But when the board becomes crowded and the clock is ticking, that hidden study becomes calm under fire. Or think about a mechanic listening to an engine with the hood raised. To an impatient observer, he looks like he is doing nothing. He is standing still. He is simply listening. But in that listening, he hears what movement concealed. He hears the knock, the rattle, the misfire. Silence works like that for you. It helps you detect what motion covered up. It helps you distinguish between activity and alignment. Think about that. You need seasons where you are not performing, not proving, not broadcasting, but listening, correcting, rehearsing, tightening the bolts, learning the patterns, preparing your mind. Because when pressure comes, you will not have time to become wise on the spot. You will only reveal the quality of the wisdom you built beforehand. Now understand something important. You are not only being prepared for achievement, you are being prepared for burden. That is a more serious thing. Many people want success, but they do not want the weight that comes with maintaining it. They want the title, not the responsibility. They want the increase, not the stewardship. They want the influence, not the discipline needed to keep influence from corrupting them. Silence trains you for burden. It teaches you how to carry something without announcing every ounce of it. It teaches you how to keep showing up when feelings are quiet. It teaches you how to make decisions without panic. Think about a mountain climber ascending toward high altitude. He does not sprint to the summit in one emotional burst. He acclimatizes, he pauses, he lets his lungs adjust. He honors the reality that higher places require a stronger internal response. If he ignores that process, the mountain does not care how ambitious he is. It will punish his arrogance. Your future works the same way. Higher responsibility requires deeper adaptation. Greater influence requires stronger lungs of character. Let that sink in. Silence is where you acclimatize. It is where your inner life catches up to the altitude you keep asking to reach. Without that adaptation, the very height you desire would make you collapse. Now let's talk about the temptation to fill every quiet space with distraction. That temptation is one of the great thieves of modern life. The moment the room gets quiet, you reach for noise. The moment discomfort appears, you reach for entertainment. The moment reflection begins, you interrupt it. Why? Because distraction feels easier than self-examination. But whatever you refuse to examine, you will eventually serve. Whatever you refuse to confront, you will eventually obey. If you do not learn how to stay in the quiet long enough to understand yourself, your impulses will run your life from the shadows. Think about a lighthouse keeper on a storm coast. Most of the work happens before the storm arrives. Cleaning the lens, checking the fuel, inspecting the mechanism, trimming the wick. None of it feels dramatic on a calm day. But if the keeper neglects those quiet duties because he prefers distraction, the light fails when sailors need it most. Your inner life is like that lantern. Daily maintenance matters. Quiet maintenance matters. The checks that no one sees matter. Think about that. If you neglect your interior life because stimulation is easier, then when real darkness arrives, you will have no steady light to guide your own decisions. Silence gives you that maintenance window. Use it. Now consider the difference between isolation that destroys and solitude that develops. The difference is intention. If you withdraw to decay, the quiet will feed your worst patterns. If you enter solitude to build, the quiet becomes medicine. You must choose. You must bring structure into the silence. Read, write, walk, pray, think, train, plan, review, correct, repeat. Do not just sit in silence like a person under a sentence. Stand in it like a person under construction. That posture matters. Think about a sculptor facing a block of stone. At first, all you see is excess. Rough edges, hard surface, heavy mass. But the sculptor does not curse the stone because it has not yet revealed the form. He works it, strike by strike, angle by angle, dust falling, shape emerging. In the same way, your silent season is often full of subtraction before addition. Old habits cut away, old illusions cut away, old dependencies cut away. It can feel like loss because you are attached to what is being removed. But if the removal serves the form, it is not cruelty, it is craft. Let that sink in. Some of the quiet in your life exists because there are things being carved out of you that cannot go with you where you say you want to go. Now understand something important. Maturity is not proven by how loudly you declare your goals. It is proven by how quietly you honor them. Everybody can make a promise in a surge of emotion. Everybody can make a dramatic announcement when energy is high. But can you live the promise on a dull Tuesday? Can you honor the standard when nobody checks? Can you keep the appointment with your own future when the room is empty and the reward is delayed? That is maturity. That is where character stops being poetry and becomes architecture. No one is coming to force you to respect your own potential. No one is coming to make you leave behind your childish patterns. No one is coming to drag greatness out of you by the collar. You must rise. You must order your days. You must decide that a quieter season will not make you smaller, but stronger. Let that sink in. The people who eventually become dependable are not the ones who are always the most noticed. They are the ones who learned how to remain faithful in quiet places. Faithful to the work. Faithful to the standard. Faithful to the truth. Faithful to the process. And because they learned that, life could trust them with more. Now let's talk about the middle of the journey, because this is where many people lose heart. The beginning has urgency. The ending has reward. But the middle often has neither. The middle is where the novelty wears off. The middle is where effort feels repetitive. The middle is where the results are not obvious enough to excite you and not absent enough to scare you into action. That is where the mature person separates from the impulsive one. Silence is preparation, not punishment. You must remember that in the middle, not just at the start when the idea sounds noble. In the middle when the alarm keeps ringing and the outcome still looks far away. In the middle when your friends move on and your routine remains. In the middle when nobody can see what you are becoming because even you can barely feel it. Think about a stonecutter striking a rock. 1 hit, 2 hits, 10 hits, 50 hits. To the impatient eye, nothing is happening. Then, on a later strike, the stone splits. But it did not split only because of the final blow. It split because of all the blows that came before it, each one adding force, each one changing the structure in ways invisible until the moment of breakthrough. Your life often works like that. Do not insult the earlier strikes just because the crack has not shown yet. Now, consider your future self, because that person is being built by the way you handle quiet right now. The future you is not an accident. The future you is a construction project. You are either laying material or wasting daylight. You are either storing strength or leaking it. You are either becoming more governable, more focused, more disciplined, more rooted, or you are remaining at the mercy of appetite and mood. The difference is often decided in seasons that feel unremarkable. Think about an empty gym after hours. The lights are dim, the racks are still. The mirrors reflect no crowd. Yet somewhere in that room, one person is doing another set, another repetition, another hold, another minute that nobody will celebrate. That is how bodies change, quietly. That is how endurance changes, quietly. That is how confidence changes, quietly. Not by wishing, not by talking, by reps. Your character is built the same way. Reps of restraint, reps of focus, reps of honesty, reps of finishing, reps of returning after you fail. Think about that. You do not become formidable because of one emotional moment. You become formidable because the silent season taught you how to repeat what matters until it becomes part of your nature. Now understand something important. There will be a day when the very silence you once resented becomes the reason you do not break. Pressure will come, loss will come, opportunity will come, responsibility will come. And when that day arrives, you will not be saved by what you wished for in noisy moments. You will be supported by what you built in quiet ones. The inner order, the disciplined mouth, the steady mind, the practiced restraint, the ability to endure uncertainty without collapsing into chaos. Think about a reservoir filling during the rainy season. From the surface, it seems passive. Water gathers, no great spectacle, no visible heroics. But when drought comes, the city survives because there was silent accumulation before the emergency arrived. Your current season may be filling your reservoir. Knowledge is gathering, patience is gathering, endurance is gathering, spiritual weight is gathering, emotional steadiness is gathering. Let that sink in. You do not always know what the preparation is for while it is happening. But later, when a difficult day arrives, and you find that you can stand in it without becoming someone small, you will realize the silence was not empty. It was storage. It was accumulation. It was mercy in a form you did not immediately recognize. Now let's talk about gratitude in the quiet, because gratitude protects you from turning training into torment. Gratitude does not mean pretending the process is easy. It means recognizing that being shaped is better than being left unchanged. It means understanding that correction is a privilege, that growth is a privilege, that another day to practice discipline is a privilege. The person who has no quiet never learns himself. The person who has no waiting never develops patience. The person who has no hidden season often arrives exposed and shallow. So do not just tolerate this season. Study it, harvest it, respect it. Think about a field lying fallow. To the impatient eye, it looks useless because it is not producing a crop right now. But the wise farmer knows rest can restore the soil. He knows depletion must be addressed before another round of growth. He knows that nonstop extraction weakens the land. You are not a machine. You cannot demand endless visible output without inner renewal and expect long-term strength. Think about that. Some of the silence in your life exists because your ground needed restoration. Some of the pause exists because your soul needed space to breathe, reorder, and recover. If you learn to be grateful for that, bitterness loses its grip and discipline becomes cleaner. Now consider the ending of this matter, because every season asks a question, and eventually you answer it with your life. The question is simple. Will you treat silence like a sentence, or will you treat it like a school? Will you call the waiting wasted time, or will you use it to become harder to shake, harder to distract, harder to defeat? Will you keep demanding that life entertain you, or will you allow life to refine you? The choice is yours. And make no mistake, it is a choice. You can sit in the quiet and decay, or you can stand in the quiet and prepare. You can complain through it, or you can construct through it. You can become bitter that you are unseen, or you can become grateful that you are being built away from the cheap pressure of public opinion. Silence is preparation, not punishment. Return to that line again. Carry it into the next morning. Carry it into the next lonely hour. Carry it into the next season when nothing seems to move except your own decision to remain faithful. Because one day the door will open. One day the demand will come. One day the weight will be placed in your hands. And when that day arrives, you will either be a person who was damaged by the silence or a person who was developed by it. So stand up, tighten your habits, guard your mind, respect the process, build in private, endure in quiet, and remember this with all the seriousness you can carry. Silence is preparation, not punishment.